Hello guys, welcome to another weekly breakdown video. Today I'll be breaking down the last week of June. As you can see, 24th of June, the market will probably open on 24th of June 2024. Before starting my weekly breakdown, without any bullshit, let's quickly watch out the callouts that I've written one by one. So on the hourly, I have written this on this week I have learned these things from the trades, right? So here, this particular candle right here, GU, was looking like it's rejecting the zone, but you have to keep in mind that this zone was not a strong zone, first of all, not clean at all, and EU and DXY were also doing opposite of GU. So this, I will show you why I've marked this, okay, when I will reach at that point. And whenever a daily bias is not clear, we trade with the weekly bias. Let's see if it works or not this time. It worked perfectly. For example, yeah, your bias is bearish on the weekly. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday went up, and Wednesday is kind of giving a rejection candlestick, like a bearish pin bar, not an exactly bearish pin bar, but somewhat like that. So that is when your bias is not clear, or even a doji, right? Whenever a doji appears in the market, you don't have to panic. All you have to do is trade with a weekly bias. So my weekly bias was bearish, so I was looking for sells, right, after the doji. That's it. So midweek reversal, when the Wednesday is the reversal day, exactly the same thing. Monday to, if I'm looking for bearish price action throughout the week, then what I can anticipate, the most normal classic expansion, daily classic expansion, is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to make the high of the week, or Monday, Tuesday to make the high of the week, or even Monday can make the high of the week. We don't know, right? So we have to adapt, and according to what the price is showing us, we adapt. We don't predict, we adapt. So I can't stress the fact of this importance. How the daily candle closes, that our trade is exactly dependent on how the daily candle close. I don't predict what the market is showing me, what it is telling me. I do that. That is how you become profitable. Have a trading plan, have your plan of action, and only trade with your trading plan, only trade with your trade checklist, only trade in your times, mate. That is how every profitable trader becomes profitable. It's not hard. People make it seem like it's hard, but it's not hard, trust me. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday make the high of the week, and then the reversal happened. That is called the midweek reversal, as I have written here. This trade didn't make sense to take because it was not reacting off of any zone. There was liquidity to sweep to the downside, and yeah, the more experience you get in the market, you see which trades are high probability and which are not, 100%. So not only in trading, but also on everything. The more you do it, the more experience you get it, the more experience you get in that thing, you improve, right? The exact thing on trading. The more repetition you put in, the more reps you put in. Every single day I'm improving. Every single day I'm learning something new about the markets, mate. It's just a matter of time. I passed my first Perform challenge. I can feel it. Literally, I can feel it. It's just a matter of time. I just have to take the risk, take the leap of faith, and then believe in myself and bet on myself. That's it. So let me quickly show you the news. Monday there was no news. Tuesday there was CB consumer confidence, so you can argue that there was no news. Wednesday there was new home sales, which we don't consider. Thursday and Friday there was news, New York news. So this was also not a high news driven week, which was also interesting. So now going on the DXY to confirm my bias, clearly we can see the weekly is bullish. Going to the next week, I will look for buys because of how these weekly candles have been closing lately. And also there is a weekly fair value gap, which is irrelevant for now because the price is not showing or telling us that it wants to go and fill up that fair value gap. I will not show you how to mark these demand zones, as I have shown it a gazillion of times in every video. You can watch it again and again until you get it, and once you get it, it's easy, right? So on DXY my bias was bullish, and on GU my bias was bearish. So obviously, just because my weekly bias is bearish doesn't mean that Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday we cannot look for buys if it's clean. I have figured it out that even if my weekly bias is bearish, I can look for buys if it's clean, if it's reacting from a zone. If my trade checklist is followed, I can still look for buys, as I have done here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday make the high of the week. Thursday, Friday pullback. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday make the high of the week. Thursday, Friday pullback. I have seen it 2 times consecutively, and I am so confident whenever something like this will happen on the live markets. I am not gonna panic, or I'm not gonna confuse myself. Instead, what I'm gonna do is take it, mate, with a risk management, obviously managing my risk. once you know your technicals, once you know your fundamentals and everything, your psychology, it's all about the risk management. If you have a good risk management plan and a good strategy, mate, you are profitable. You are already profitable. Just it has to come to fruition, right? So on Monday, my bias was not clear. As you can see, it can go and fill up the daily fair value gap or to the downside, or it can also go and fill up the daily fair value gap to the upside. So to be honest, going on Monday, my bias was not clear on GU. I went to DXY to confirm my bias. On DXY, it was clearly looking like it's going up, but also on the daily time frame, there was a fair value gap on the daily. You can see right around here. So obviously on Monday, I was looking for nothing. It can go up, it can go down. In situations like this, not trading Monday is the best option because you don't know what's gonna happen or what's high likely to be happen, right? So on Monday, I didn't took the trade, so I will just show you the daily candle. So what did Monday do? Monday went up, filled up the daily fair value gap to the T. As you can see, perfection at its peak right here, right? This daily fair value gap was filled to the T, 100% got filled, so now we can remove that. So on DXY, we can clearly see the daily fair value gap got filled 90% right here, which is a good amount of fair value gap fill. And after a candle closure like this on Monday, on Tuesday what I will do is I will look for buys until and unless the price shows me that it wanna reject from this supply zone. I am not trading against the trend, right? Monday the buyers kick in the market, so why, until and unless I see confirmation, obviously why will I want to sell, right? So I was looking for buys on Tuesday, which will be sells on DXY, which was so beautifully aligning, right? So that is when I went to the 4-hour time frame to look for some sort of change of characters to the upside if I'm looking for buys, which there was none on the 4-hourly, to be honest. And yeah, so I went to the H1. There was a beautiful demand zone on the H1 time frame, which was made on New York session, as you can see, and pre-New York session to be accurate. And on Monday, as you can see, I didn't took the trade. And also on Monday, it was a continuation setup, which I take, to be honest. But obviously when my bias is not clear, I just don't want to trade, and not trading on Monday was the best thing I could have done. And look, sometimes not trading is 10 times better than trading, because the bias is not clear. When you don't trade, maybe the bias will get clearer for the next day, right? So exactly that happened on Tuesday. So waiting for Monday to close, I got my bias for Tuesday. So this was the demand zone I was looking to trade from. And yeah, mate, I waited for the Asian range to close. The market didn't sweep the Asian low, didn't sweep my zone, it seems. Okay, so it went up. It was a loss on Tuesday, as you can see. It was a loss on Tuesday, and it didn't make sense to trade here. Why it didn't make sense? That's why I've written a call out right here, right? This trade didn't make sense to take because it was not reacting off of any zone. There was liquidity to sweep to the downside, as you can see. There was liquidity here to be swept to the downside, and also there was a zone right here, right? So why will the market, obviously there's always a chance to make a move, but why will the market make a move from here rather than going and filling up the fair value, filling up the liquidity right here, filling up the orders right here, and reacting from a H1 demand? Why will it not do that, right? So it comes through experience, obviously. If I was not experienced in the markets, I would take this trade and take a loss, but now I'm at a point where I can see moves like this not working, so that I can use in my favor in the live markets. So on the live markets, obviously I would have avoided this loss, but to avoid this loss, I have to take this loss somewhere. So I took this loss on my back testing, learned from it, and now I will not repeat the same mistakes on the live. It's a win-win situation for us, right? So here this particular candle right GU was looking and it is rejection. On Monday, why I didn't took the trade from this zone, I have written here. You can pause and read it if you want. Like a quick summary is, I didn't took the trade here because GU and DXY were not aligning. Sorry, DXY and EU were not aligning at GU with GU at this time. I was looking for obviously sells right here, because whenever the daily buy is not clear, I try to trade with the weekly, and trading on Monday was a smart decision, and yeah, that played out in our favor. So now going on Wednesday, Tuesday I took a loss right there, but I could have easily avoided that loss if I was a little bit smarter, as you can see. And yeah, That is what I want to teach you guys or explain it to you guys, right? Not trading is also a thing, and yeah, you don't need to trade always to make money on the markets. So as you can see right here, Monday went up, Tuesday went up. I am anticipating this Tuesday to be the high of the week because my weekly bias is bearish, right? As the weekly bias being bearish, sooner or later it continues with the weekly bias being bearish, as you have seen right here, and also as you have seen right here. So why will the market do something else, right? I was thinking something like that. And going on Wednesday, my bias was not clear, as you can see, and also there was no news on Wednesday. New home sales, which I don't consider as high impact news. Maybe it will have an effect, but yeah, I just didn't consider it. On the H4, there was no sort of change of characters to the downside. If I'm looking for sales, I will look for some sort of change of characters. And on the H1, as you can see, waiting for the Asian range to close. Obviously the Asian range closed something like this. On Wednesday there was no sort of clean supply zone, or there was an M30 supply zone, as you can see right around here, which the market never went up there. Wednesday was so bearish that it went down and down and down and down, never even looked up, didn't sweep the Asian high, didn't mitigate the supply zone. So on Wednesday it was a no trade day for me. On Wednesday it was a no trade day for me, and if I was looking for something on Wednesday, it would be a continuation setup. After watching the volume right here, right, I would mark this M15 fair value gaps to get an entry, something like this. But even the fair value gap, the continuation setup didn't play it out, as you can see. If the fair value gap didn't got swept and rejected, I don't take the trade, right? So that was the bottom line. So I even didn't took the trade on Wednesday. Till now I have not got any trade on throughout the week, a good trade. So now, as I've explained it to you guys, I told you, right, my bias was not clear on Tuesday. What I did, I waited for Wednesday to close. And also, whenever the Tuesday bias is not clear or the daily bias is not clear, what I do, I tend to trade with the weekly bias, and this time it worked to the T. Whenever a daily bias is not clear, we trade the weekly bias. Let's see if it works. It worked perfectly right here, right? So that is what I wanted to explain it to you guys. And also this midweek reversal, when the Wednesday is the reversal day in the markets in our anticipated direction, as we have seen it happen 2 times in a row. Yes, but in this case, Tuesday was the high of the week, and then this is a classic expansion that we use, daily classic expansion, bearish weekly profiling, as you can see. So Wednesday was so down, and also I have noticed one more thing in the markets. Whenever a candlestick closes with huge bearish momentum like this, what I do is I trade the closest zone right here. And whenever there is no high momentum, like for example this, I wait for the demand zone to get swept. I hope you get it. I get it. So yep, if you want a detailed video on that topic, you can comment down and give your thoughts. So going on the H4, we can clearly see there was a change of character to the downside. As you can see, this is the higher low, higher high, lower highs, lower lows. So I anticipated this with the change of character on the H4, but I didn't mark the supply zone because I trade the lower time frames, and H4 is only to look for the zones. Obviously I mark the zones on the H4, but I don't trade it, if it makes sense, because I'm not a swing trader, I'm an intraday trader, right? So on the H4 there was a fair value gap right here, which can easily go and get filled. And on DXY I don't show. On DXY I only show the bias, but which I didn't did, right? So on DXY we can clearly see Monday went down, Tuesday was a doji, so Tuesday my bias was not clear. Wednesday, now the bias is so clear, it body closed above all of this, and it's so clean that it makes sense on Thursday to go up, continue to go up. So on GBP USD I was looking for sales because of that bias. On the 4 hourly there was a change of character, but I didn't do nothing. And on the H1 there was 2 fair value gaps, 2 supply zones to trade from. This was the closest supply zone. As I've told you, according to how the previous daily candle closes, I decide my zones to trade. And clearly we can see after the Asian range has closed, the closest supply zone was this on the H1 time frame. So I took a trade right here, I believe. Yes, I took a trade right there, which was a break-even trade, or you can also argue this was a losing trade. As you can see, I would have lost this trade regardless, and I take losses as a part of the game. Losses are the part of the game. Even if everything you want to see in a trade, your checklist, everything hits to the T, you can still lose this trade, lose that trade, right? So this supply zone didn't work. Asian high got swept. Everything I want to see in a trade was there. To be honest, this was an A-class setup. Only the only thing that was not there on this trade was a clear supply zone, because you can see this H1 supply zone was very big, right? and it was also not refined. The lower time frames also were same like the H1. So the next H1 supply zone was right around here, which I took the trade again because I believe in my analysis, I believe in myself, I believe in my strategy. So what I did, I waited for the inducement, one inducement here, second inducement here. If I show you on the lower time frames, clearly you can see the market induced here, second inducement, third inducement. At the fourth time at New York session, it made a beautiful move, and we did go the winning trade right here, but it was very late on the, sorry, it was a second trade. So what I've learned from this trust this trade is, even if you lose the trade, if you believe in your analysis and your higher time frame is clear, you can still enter the trade again, anticipating to win it, because obviously you are on the market to win, right? Nobody comes to the market with a losing mindset. You have to have a confidence in yourself, in your strategy, and in your checklist. If your checklist is there, you take the trade. If your checklist is not there, checklist is not ticked, you don't take the trade. That's it. That's as simple as it can get. Don't make it complicated for yourself. So going on Friday now, I'm looking for sells again because of how this Thursday candle closed. It went up, rebalanced the price on Thursday, filled up all the gaps, and then rejected. So I was looking for sells. To confirm my bias, I go to DXY. The same sort of thing happened on DXY, rebalanced the price and then rejected, and a bullish pin bar. So this is when I go to the 4-hour time frame, the same drill again and again and again and again and again. As of now, you guys have been more expert than me, I guess. As I tell the same things, the same repetition, the same mundane to follow, right? Bro, success is in the same mundane. It's not interesting. Doing the same things again and again, even if you don't want to do it, regardless of how you feel. That's how. So going on Friday, I was looking for sells from the H1 time frame. You know what, on Friday there was no clear supply zone, so it was very tricky to trade. The only supply zone was there, some sort of H1 supply zone here, right? But this supply zone was also very big. As you can see, there was no change of character, no fair value gap, and the bias was there. Yes, there was no market structure shift, and also there was no fair value gap. So this zone I considered as a low probability zone. Even though it was a low probability zone, the move did happen. We took the first trade, we got our 1:3. Look, getting our 1:3 is not hard, bro. If you see what you want to see in a trade and it genuinely works, right? As you can see here, the Asian high got swept. I don't know why I didn't mark it, but this range right here is the Asian range. The Asian high got swept. Previous structural liquidity was here, didn't got swept. There was Asian high liquidity got swept, gave our rejection. But this trade, to be honest, I guess I would have not taken this trade on the live markets, but I did on my back testing. So it was a winner. We got our 1:3, as you can see. After giving our 1:3, what the market did, it went up, induced our position. It was a H1 supply which was made on New York session, right? So it made sense for London sellers to get stopped out. Obviously, what the New York session tends to do is manipulate the orders from London session and then make the move to the downside, and then the real move happens, right? So which exactly happened. We again entered the trade again. If I had missed this trade, I would have taken this trade again 100%. And also there was news, so we got stopped out at news. But at that time when the news arrived, before that I have already trailed my stop loss to break even, obviously, because I don't wanna risk, right? I mean, I am risking obviously, but I don't wanna risk my profits. So what I did, I trailed my stop loss, I took some partials, and then I hold throughout the news. On Friday there was PCE price index, I guess, core PCE price index, which is a high probability news. And yeah, mate, so this was the weekly breakdown for you guys. Thursday and Friday we probably caught some winning and losing trades. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday did nothing. Monday did nothing. Tuesday we could have took a potential loss. And yeah, trading is not hard, it's simple. If you have your strategy, if you have your checklist, if you know what you're doing every single day on the markets, and you know when a trade is there and when a trade is not there, and you don't force anything, you don't look at the monetary value, you look at the percentage, you follow all your plans, you follow all your checklists, that is when you will see success, mate. So yeah, soon I'm gonna pass the Perform challenge and then I'll make a video.